Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes on the Rebirth server. We are in Iron Man mode, or should we say Iron Phoenix mode. We are playing a martial arts super reflex scrapper as my final Iron Man playthrough. I want to, as I've said in the past couple of episodes, play this character because it's my best character. What I'm going to try to see is playing a character whose abilities I know better than any other type of character in the game, Scrapper plus Martial Arts and Super Reflex, which are my best and most familiar power sets. Can I beat my performances of other characters, which got from level, I think, 9 to 19, depending on the character? And we do know there's a little footnote. Oh, back to the sewers. We do know there's a little bit of a footnote for the level 19 character and the level 12 character, which are my two highest, because I was using some resources that I thought were character items, but were actually account tagged items. So I do want to explain the way this works. This actually had me a bit confused. So the account items are not account wide; they're character items, right? So to me, an account wide item, if you use it once, it's used for your account. So, for example, if we look at the Paragon rewards, these are account-wide items. When I click this and I get a superhero or a supervillain pack, I can only use it once. But instead of going into the account item, it goes into the character item column, which I should have realized. Character items are items that once you use them on this character, they're actually used account-wide, whereas account items are available on every character. This to me is completely backwards terminology. But in any case, I was using what I thought were character items that were actually shared across characters, and so we don't do that anymore on our Iron Man characters. And since we stopped doing that and setting everything to boss, we haven't gotten past, I think, level 10. So we're going to see if we can get this character past level 10, because I'm better at this type of character. Scrapper and martial arts. For the other characters, I was never sure exactly which powers to take when, how I wanted to slot them, if I ever even got to the point of having enhancements. I was never sure exactly how I wanted to use powers to greatest effect. I will have absolutely no such problems with this character. That doesn't mean I'm not going to screw up and die, because at this level it's very easy to screw up and die, especially when you're doing things like fighting multiple minions plus a lieutenant. And that sort of thing. I'm going to hit this lieutenant, even though I normally hit the minions first. Well, I tried. I was trying not to aggro the kidnappers, but I aggroed them, so we'll just have to go in and fight. So our main issue here is going to be Mez. The blasters do Mez you. The rifleman's blaster. And we missed. So yes, I'm not immune from screwing up, and obviously I could accidentally blunder into a bunch of orange cons or something and just get face planted. It's super quick to happen on super reflex because you have no defenses other than dodge, and if they just get 3 lucky shots in a row, you can die. If you go back and watch the Silver Phoenix rather than Iron Phoenix here playthrough, you will see it happen at level, I don't know, it was 32 or 33. Where did he go? At level 32 or 33. Like, I'm trying to help you and not run through the sewage, okay, buddy? Follow me along. At level 32 or 33, I was fighting a couple of Cray. I don't remember if they were lieutenants. I think they might have been, but I was fighting 2 Cray. I had over aggroed, and we got to watch for ambush here. I had over aggroed, and I was fighting two guys, right? And they were doing martial arts back to me. And they both did, I think it was crane kick, and they both attacked at the same time. They both rolled below a 5, I think, or whatever it was, below a 10, and they both hit, and it was like, health bar was like bang, bang, done, and I was dead. If that happens, like that can happen to you at any level with any character, you just get unlucky. So there's no guarantee that I'm going to make it past level 10 with this character. I could face plant against the Vajalox at level 7. And now we got +1s. That's going to be even harder, right? But but I have a better sense with this character of what it can do and when I've got to run and that sort of thing. See, stunned, right? And that's an easy way you could just get killed. There's no way to stop it except carrying some break freeze, which we might have to do. I wouldn't normally do that with a character like this, right? Because after all, she is a scrapper, but before level 10, she does not have any protection against Mez, and it might be worth grabbing one just as an out, because we can't die, or we'll have to stop playing the character. And you don't want to like get stunned and then find out that you're face planted at level 7, right? Because you got stunned by a lieutenant shooting a Richter blaster at you. So I don't normally carry those, but I think we might want to leave one break free in here just in case. Or maybe in here. We don't really seem to need to do extra damage that much. How are we doing on this map? Okay. Just making sure that we haven't missed anything. So we'll hit level 6 in this episode. Probably won't get to level 7. There is another innocent person right here. So we'll free them. Just making sure there's nobody else around. And see, got knocked down. So yeah, they have the ability to either knock you down or stun you, and right until level 10, we have no protection against that. However, as a reflex scrapper, we do get additional dodging, right? And we've talked about this before, that the mezzing has to hit. And the huge advantage of super reflex is their mezzes are going to miss sometimes because of our reflexes. Now, we have to watch out here. We could get ambushed while we're fighting these guys, but unfortunately, I aggroed them, so there's nothing I could do about it. Got to try to defeat them as quickly as possible. And now we're starting to see some endurance drain from the sprint. Right, you can see we were slowly losing, and if you get into one battle after another, So now you could ask, why not just free both hostages and run them out together? You could. The problem with doing that, especially at this level, is you're going to get ambushed, right? And if I were fighting 2 ambushes at once, right, or if this ambush were to hit me while I was trying to fight the kidnappers of the other guy, right, we could have a problem. It could be the death of this character. You can see how much damage that swordman does, right? 2 or 3 hits from that and you're redlined. So you have to be very careful. We're getting a lot of XP from these guys, though. Lieutenants are worth good XP. It's always better, if you look, right? A lieutenant here is 52, the minion is 13. It's always better to fight a lieutenant and a minion in a spawn. That's 65 XP versus 3 minions will only be 39. It's almost like double XP. So, you have no control over it, right? You cannot control, and there's, I guess, no point to be sprinting here because she can't keep up. You cannot control what the engine throws at you. But there are certain factions that are more likely, I'm just going to run her through the sewage because she's annoying me. There are certain factions that are more likely to generate lieutenants in the spawns, like a 1-in-1 lieutenant minion spawn, than other factions. So, for example, Freak Show often have lieutenants in their spawns. The Lost often have lieutenants in their spawns. Nemesis frequently has lieutenants in spawns. Although sometimes they have snipers instead of a lieutenant, they're worth about the same XP. But yeah, if you have any option or choice at all, if like a mission were to tell you, you can either have lieutenants, 1 lieutenant, 1 minion in the standard spawns, or 3 minions, always go. You would always want the lieutenants in the spawns, right? Because they're worth a lot of XP. And it doesn't take any longer, really, to defeat a lieutenant and a minion than it does to defeat 3 minions. So in terms of gaining XP per minute, you're much faster when you're fighting lieutenants. I'm trying to think what other. Vajilak has a lot of minions. Clockworks have a lot of minions. They sometimes have lieutenants, of course, but they tend to have more 3 minion spawns, sometimes 4 minion spawns. Even that's not as worth as much as a lieutenant and a minion. Um, I guess Cray do have lieutenants, and there's a recruiter. We are on bosses. I don't know why he's not a boss. We certainly have the inspirations to fight a boss here, no problem. And there's the last hostage. So we want to not actually get after those guys until we defeated the recruiter. What's going on here? Why am I not attacking? There we go. Okay. So let's pull out this way and go after the recruiter first, because I don't want to be ambushed while I'm fighting him, and I'll probably aggro him. Well, maybe I wouldn't aggro him fighting the hostages, but let's just finish him up. We don't need this res. I don't even know that since he's a lieutenant, I don't know that we even need any inspirations against this guy. We'll see. The biggest problem is if he stuns me. And now that he's knocked down, he probably won't. And that's him. You can see with that crit, man, you can two-shot these guys. It's so awesome. Ugh. And stunned. Not good. Fortunately, their stun doesn't last that long. These are low-level guys, so mostly they don't stun you that hard. And there we go. Last hostage. And we can turn off sprint because he's going to be slow. Is there actually another guy there? No, it's just, it thinks there is. Yeah, sometimes it'll give you a red arrow when there's nobody. You've, I'm sure, seen that before in my playthroughs. So there should be one more ambush coming through. There might be more than one. I don't know. This is a starter mission, so there might only be one. In a typical mission higher than 10th level, ambushes would be 3. Usually come in waves of 3. But if you can get the hostage out faster than it takes for 3 waves to come in, be defeated, and respawn, sometimes you can get them out with less than 3. So what happens usually is, once the spawn comes in, after you defeat the last member of that spawn, a new spawn is generated. So you can kind of game it like leave one guy alive and let him follow you, and if he's not that powerful, you can just let him attack you and not do anything, do damage to him, and theoretically let him follow you all the way to the entrance. Sometimes what you can do is go the other way, right? So like, it might be if they're running on top of this thing that they wouldn't aggro to us if we're underneath. And then since they don't get defeated, there's no other spawn. But mostly it's easier to just fight them as they come in. And that has leveled us up, guys. We are 6th level. And we've completed that mission, and now we're going to go get combat jump just to make moving around the city. Oh, I'm sorry, super jump to make moving around the city easier. Now, combat jump does increase our defense, but it's only a little bit. It's under 2%, so it's not really worth struggling with that. All right, so we're going to get another mission from him, but first, let us get our movement power. So yeah, I would say, you know, this character is most dangerous. This character's most dangerous period is going to be assuming we can get the salvage to buy ourselves a set of DOs at level 12. The most dangerous time period for this character will be level like 8 to 12. Because at that point, the enemies start getting tougher and your abilities aren't really going up because you don't have enhancements. So that's going to be the danger zone, and that's where all of our characters, except the first Guardian, have died. So we're up to 7,000 influence. Not too bad. We try up to a new level of power, and now we get, in the leaping pool, a super jump. And away we go. And now we have a movement power. It won't work as well as it would work at level 14, but it'll be pretty good. Violence in King's Row, stop the Lost Rampage, talk to the King's Row Security Chief. Well, let's talk to the King's Row Security Chief, I guess. And now we can super jump. It's not going to get us real high. It's not going to go for very far, but it will definitely help to have this movement power. I am having a blast with this character. It's just, I really haven't played martial arts super reflex in, I want to say about a year at all. And it really feels almost like I'm home, you know. This to me is City of Heroes. It's the most innate power set as far as I'm used to, and it's the most fun. I feel like it's the most fluid, but it really isn't. It's just that it's the most fluid for me. Security Chief is going to make me go defeat a bunch of somebodies, but these are skulls. So why did I take this instead of the Lost? Because I can find skulls that are white cons or yellow cons to me, whereas Lost are going to be oranges and purples for the most part. Now we do have to remember to turn super jump off because it's a huge drain on the endurance. So that's 2, 8 to go. There will be a lot of skulls in this area, so they're pretty easy to take out. Now, I didn't know for sure he was going to say skulls. And he could have said clockworks. He could have said Vajaloks. But I did know it was going to be really hard to find Lost of my level. While we're over here, I think I'm going to super jump over to the hospital and grab a break free. Just in case we get stunned. And there is a little information disc to click here, or whatever, information pedestal. So let's head to the hospital because we're pretty close. Right, it's only 180 yards and 2 or 3 hops. And we're just going to go over here and grab a break free. And I'm going to actually pair that up with damage because I don't feel like we need that, and we'll just go ahead and use this damage for the next minute as we fight some skulls. 5 skulls to go. There are usually some over here too, yeah. And yellow cons, no problem. Especially when you've got a cop helping you. By the way, for this, you don't get as much experience if the cop does some damage, but you do get the credit for the defeat. So it's actually a little easier to come over here and fight these guys, because once you start attacking them, the cop gets up and starts helping you. Right? And so he takes a little aggro for you. Oh, there's some red cons there. We don't want to get into that. There's some white cons over there. And I like this. We're helping the Paragon Police. this is just a regular innocent person. So we have defeated the skulls in King's Row. Would like to get another green pill over there. And we'll talk to the detective. So now we're going to have to stop the Lost Rampage. So this is kind of all he's got. I don't know that he has any more for us. So we might want to talk to Ron Hughes. Let's see if he's got some missions for us. 7th level, we will get Shauna Stockwell. And we'll be able to start the Chernobog mission or story arc. Yeah, so let's go ahead. I mean, it looks like since we have a full bar on Brogan and he hasn't given us a story arc, I don't think there are any story arcs, like real story arcs in Atlas Park, other than the new stuff. You can see that we're in a red-purple zone, so you have to be careful. I'm very used to my Stalker, who can super jump anywhere she wants because she's invisible. And her hide power is pretty much impervious. This character does not have that ability. Alright, let's see what he's going to ask us to. Someone to break up a gang fight. That's what we want, a door mission. How far away is that? All the way across the zone. So, I think now we're going to use our mission teleporter, which is right there. Come on. Oh yeah, we have this business of you have to put it up there first and then drag it down because of the, I guess, the exclamation points that it thinks are there. So Kievar suggested this. This is where the exclamation point pop help comes, and for some reason it doesn't like letting you click on these buttons unless you either move this bar or click on something further up, and then it like recognizes that you're trying to click on this bar and figures it out. I don't know, it's very weird. Okay, so we got to take our movement power off. We'll leave sprint on for travel, but when we get into battle, we'll try to remember to turn it off. Notice when they hit me with the axe, it chops down my defenses a lot, right? So my defenses go from 13 or whatever to 0 or 5 or what have you, depending on how many chops I've taken. Makes it a lot easier for them to hit. But it would be even worse if we didn't have any defense at all, right? Don't really need the endurance, so we'll go ahead and use that. I'm just going to keep using whatever comes in there until we get a green. And we now do have a break free that will enable us to avoid at least one stun. I'm not going to probably take it preemptively unless I'm absolutely sure I'm going to get hit with Mez right off the bat, because it only lasts for 1 minute. Or no, for 30 seconds. It doesn't last for a whole minute, but if I'm absolutely sure I'm going to get hit right off the top with a Mez, I would use it. Otherwise, I'm going to just use it after we're stunned, because it can be used to heal a Mez, right? To like deactivate it, essentially, to sort of undo it. Alright, let's turn sprint on. Oh, turn it back off. There's a gang war. Could we possibly... No, we can't possibly be getting into Bonefire yet. I think we might need to do a pull here. First pull of the game for this character. Just because there were so many enemies in there, it looks like there are 3 spawns, and I don't want to aggro 3 spawns at once. That'd be a little nuts. I mean, Scrapperlock is one thing, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be really stupid So one thing you may be noticing, right? I'm attacking somebody, I don't even get a blow in and they die. This throwing knives does give a minor damage over time. So if you watch when we throw it, right, it hits him, it does 11, but then it's doing 1, 1, 1, 1. Now the reason I did a poll with these guys is because I wasn't quite sure. I thought I saw those guys moving and that they were a patrol, and we might get, we might get caught by the other group, but we're all right. You can see the choppers are really doing a number on my defense. So now we don't have any heals, so that's potentially bad. But hopefully we'll get a few as we go. So what that mostly means is I can't just keep going from spawn to spawn. I might have to stop and take an E. By the way, we are 6th level. This character has not taken an E yet. And we really only had to use inspirations, like needed to use inspirations a couple times. She's doing really well. I'm really happy with her. But then I'm always happy with martial arts, super reflex. And of course the look of the character very similar to the original look of Silver Phoenix. Yeah, I really do feel pretty much at home now with this character. I really do. I gotta be careful. There is another spawn there, and yep, I aggroed them, so that's dangerous. I'm gonna throw a luck on here because they're decreasing my defense, and we've actually over-aggroed. I thought those guys were too far away to aggro, and we don't have a heal. So one way to make it so you don't need a heal is to throw that luck on, and hopefully we won't face a mega boss in this mission because a really tough boss, because we're kind of running out of inspirations here. We don't need the blue, so we'll just go ahead and use it and leave the space open for hopefully some heals or lucks. So I'm going to keep going quickly here because we have a little bit of time on the luck, so we may as well use it to our advantage since they will have a harder time hitting. So the choppers use axes. Axes are the minus defense. I'm not sure if slicers do the same. They might. Sluggers do not. So we're going to have to be more cautious without heals and with only 1 luck. Because that luck has run out now. Our luck has run out. And there is a lieutenant, and I just aggroed her too. Let's pull her back. You coming? Let's do a pull. I still want to use Focus Chi here. But we don't have that power yet. Oh, not good. Yeah, orange lieutenants with no heal inspirations are rough. We're going to have to take a knee after this. And if we keep missing, we might lose. Got her. That was close. And we got a heal. Excellent. So that is what we need, and our first knee comes about halfway through 6th level, 1/3 of the way. So that's going to be a huge help with that heal. Now I'm going to game this a little bit. So that lieutenant was orange because it was +1. That means when we go up the stairs, we're going to be into a +1 level area. This is +0 level area. So I'm going to come in here first. Oh boy. So this is going to be rough. Because if those guys aggro, they're going to attack the artifact. Now it's optional to protect it, but I would like to do that. So I'm going to see if I can take these 2 out first, these 3 out first. Hopefully I didn't aggro those guys. And the idea is I'm gonna try not to knock back into that room either. Of course, I missed, so it doesn't matter. The idea is if I could stop them from attacking the artifact until I'm ready to fight them. Right? Now, is there a lieutenant over here? Or is it just minions? Yeah, so and these guys might aggro to me too. And you can't pull these guys, I don't think. If once they aggro, they try to attack this. So I'm not even going to try to pull them. I'm going to see if I can do a knockback to this guy. And then switch targets. And now there's going to be, oh, there's going to be an ambush. That's bad. Oh, come on. Okay. So we got him, and now we got to protect the artifact from these guys. Oh, the miss streaks are killing me. Alright, let's try to get some accuracy here, because we can't afford to keep missing. And we missed again anyway. And look at this, our last two hit chance, 95%. We missed anyway. Is somebody else attacking that thing? I hear gunshots behind me. We might not be able to save the artifact. Yeah, see, they're attacking it. We might be able to save it. It has some hit points left. There's the next group. Do a little more damage. Alright, this is good. We've got heals and stuff. So let's see, are there any more? Yeah, there's another ambush coming. Let's see if we can meet them further out. I love that. Alright, so that should be the end of them attacking the artifact. So now we just have to defeat all. And so by coming over here, by fighting white cons, knowing that there are yellows and oranges in the other section down the hall, we've gamed the system a little bit, and this allows us to have picked up the inspirations we're going to need to possibly fight a +1 boss. So that's really what I was most concerned about. Going up those stairs often leads to the end boss in a map like this. And my concern was if it's a +1 area and we're going to fight a +1 boss without any heals, with only 1 luck, that would have been really rough. With 2 lucks and 2 heals, we should be absolutely fine. We should be able to pop 1 or even both lucks, and depending on, you know, who the enemy is, and just completely kick his butt. We've got the really high plus 50% damage, and we've got the insight, and we've got a mez defense and everything, so we should be okay against any boss. I don't see anybody else here. So now I think we can head up the stairs. There should be a minion, a +1 minion right around the corner. Because there was a lieutenant, so where's his minion? I guess, her minion, I guess she was a girl. Okay. So maybe there's nobody here, and maybe they're not going to be +1s, but I was just trying to be cautious because I didn't want to die. No, these are just +1 minions, so they're no problem. Yeah, we're going to decide with this character when we want to switch to +1. One of the issues this character will have will be Circle of Thorns. The Circle of Thorns Spectral Demons are going to be super hard. So we're not really going to be able to move to +1 until we're kind of done with the Library of Lost Souls, assuming we get that story arc, which we may or may not, since we're going to be doing random contacts. So we're 35 minutes in. I think this is a good place to stop this episode. So we'll head back to our contact. and then we will stop. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I absolutely am having a blast playing Martial Arts Super Reflex again. I love it. And this is a pretty dangerous zone, so we gotta be careful here. I say as I get caught. Yeah, this part of Kings Row High Park was renovated. I remember having an argument with a friend of mine because I didn't go up into High Park with Silver Phoenix early on, and I had finished the Kings Row stuff, and I didn't go up in here. Right, this area you do if you follow the Twin Shot storyline into Eagle Eye, and gotta watch out here with these Circle of Thorns guys. And I hadn't done that. I had done the original story arcs and not done Twin Shot. And so I did not go into High Park at all. And it used to be the Kings Row, and it says it on the train, it's levels 5 to 10. But in High Park, it goes from levels like 11 to 15. And I remember being a level 9 character getting stuck in there later, but when I was talking to him, he was complaining about the level like 14 and 15 enemies in Kings Row. I'm like, dude, there are no level 14 and 15 enemies in Kings Row. And he's like, yes, there are. And I was like, no, there aren't. And he said, yeah, in the north section. And I went in and looked at him. I was like, gee, he's right. It wasn't like that at launch. Okay, so again, we're going to roll to see if we're going to get Henry Peter Wong or Tony Cord. Roll dice. 1 to 3, 4 to 6. 4. Henry Peter Wong. Alright, so we're all set with this guy. Until next time, folks, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Heroes Iron Man mode with Iron Phoenix on the Rebirth server.